I'm Digibro, you're in the rant hole where I rant about whatever my $15 patrons tell me to every month. If you want to have your subject ranted about, you go ahead and become a patron, and at the end of next month, there'll be a video waiting for you. Today I'm talking about something Sumner Bai asked me to talk about. He actually gave me 3 topics. Anime Outsiders, which I don't know what that is, Learning Japanese, Series When, and Half-Assed Endings. I can't decide between learning Japanese and half-assed endings, so I guess I'm just going to do both because I don't think it'll be that long for either one of them. Learning Japanese is a fucking pain in the ass exclusively because of kanji. If not for kanji, Japanese is literally one of the easiest languages in the fucking world because there is never a question of how something is pronounced, ever. In English, it is so fucking confusing because so many of our words are just, like, the rules are totally inconsistent about how things work, and so many words are the same, homonyms and shit. There's just, like, a million shitty fucking words that people from other countries have a really difficult time learning when they try to adapt to English. Japanese is very straightforward. Every single thing is a syllable, and those syllables are all pronounced the same way consistently. A, I, U, E, O. Those are the only vowel sounds in Japanese. A, I, U, E, O. Ka, ki, ku, ke, ko. Sa, shi, tsu, se, so. You know, ta, ti, tu, te, to. Da, di, du, de, do. It's that easy. That's the whole alphabet. And it's very easy to learn how to write it, because even though it's a bunch of symbols, like, they're pretty simplistic. It's not difficult to learn all the symbols, and once you do, it's very easy to read. It's very easy to understand. They don't even have as many words as English. There's a lot of words that they have a lot of words that mean multiple things as opposed to having multiple words that mean something similar, you know? So, in context is more important when understanding Japanese than it is with English, and you know, it's extremely important in English as well, but it's even more important in Japanese. A lot of people struggle with the grammar in Japanese because it has different rules from English, and some of it is a little bit confusing, but again, it's consistent. As long as you know how to structure a sentence, you can create any sentence just plugging the words into that structure. It's just all so formulaic. And English is the polar opposite of that. English, it's like you gotta make shit up as you go, basically. There's no one size fits all. But the thing about Japanese is that even if you learn the vocabulary and you learn the alphabet and you know how to pronounce everything because it's not hard, nonetheless, if you want to be able to read Japanese, you need to learn kanji, which is about 8,000 fucking completely distinct symbols that a lot of them, I say completely distinct, but a lot of them are like the same thing with one different stroke, or the stroke going in a slightly different direction. A lot of them have multiple meanings. They have different meanings depending on the context. They can be read in completely different ways. And you just have to know. There's no other way. There's no way to learn it through inference. There's no way to just, like, pick up on it. You just have to have literally studied kanji until you know them all so that you can read anything that's not for children in Japanese. It's really absurd, and you can see why for them they wouldn't necessarily question it because it's like this is how it's always been and they are able to learn it. Like, it's not impossible, but for Japanese as a language to ever have the ability to, like, spread more, for it to ever be able to proliferate itself in the way that English has, kanji is a huge fucking stopping block in the way of that. And as a result, it's a language that probably has a limited lifespan if it doesn't do something about that, you know? And there's no reason to have them. The alphabet is completely fine. You can completely understand any Japanese word using the alphabet, having it written out like an English word. There's no fucking reason for kanji other than for poetic reasons, for the fact that they can mean multiple things, that you can draw these extra meanings out, and I'm sure that for people who are into Japanese literature, that's a big deal for them, but for anybody trying to look at it from the outside, it's just like, why would you do this? So anyways, onto the subject of half-assed endings. I've never been as upset at bad or half-assed endings as other people tend to be, because I kind of see it as par for the course of what you should expect from, especially an anime. Like, I am used to shows not having an ending, and moreover, because of the way that I grew up, where I didn't usually get to watch a show all the way to the end. I usually was just sampling the first few episodes of shows because back then you had to watch it on DVDs, and I didn't always have access to the full DVD set. So I'm used to not finishing shows. I'm used to shows not having endings. And I'm used to endings not being all that great. Because, like, a lot of original anime, they just kind of crap out at the ending because they try to make it... They try to, like, have something big happen, but the story doesn't necessarily lend itself to that very well. So half-assed endings, they're not surprising. They can be disappointing. There's very few shows where the ending was so bad that it tarnished my impression of the show up to that point. Especially because usually, if it's an ending, in a way, it almost doesn't matter, right? Like, it's one thing to have a great ending, and that can be really satisfying. And there are some stories that are truly sold by how good their ending is. But when you have a show with a bad ending, it's kind of like the journey is what's important, not the destination. So, arriving at this destination and being kind of let down, it's like, well, this is just the last part of this thing that I already consumed. I guess it's always preferred to have a nice ending, but and I'm not saying that I'm like defending bad endings. I just don't feel as strongly about them as most people do. So that's why I thought I wouldn't have much to rant about with it. That's it for this rant. See you in the next one.